Oh, how you doing, man?
How's it going? How's it going?
Doing well. Took a break for like one day yesterday. Wasn't really in front of my computer at all, so it was good. Let the eyes kind of get back to normal.
Yeah, I don't blame you. You know, I
Yeah.
took a break as well for 30 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And missed like 10 new BRC protocols in those 30 minutes.
Exactly.
Yep. Cool. So, yeah, I think we've got some good stuff to cover. We're obviously going to cover all of the BRC stuff that has been just up only for like the last month. Yeah, so we have a bunch of projects under that umbrella. We have some Solana projects as Sol has still been popping off. And then also going to get into some memes as well. So it seems to be like where the liquidity is concentrated these days. It's pretty much like all BRC and meme tokens on alt L1s.
Yeah, no,
So yeah. So yeah, let's start talking about sats slash like what, you know, you've been holding sats for a while now. You bought in like under 100K, I mean 100 million, right?
Yeah. Like I said, I initially got on at 25 million market cap.
Yeah.
Just because of the Unisat news that's going to be the KPOP.
Yeah.
I never anticipated it going this high.
Yeah, I mean, you shaved off like 50% twice, right?
Yeah, I shaved off 50% twice, and you know
it's still your biggest bag.
It's pretty much half my portfolio right now.
That's so funny, man. Yeah, well done on that one. I really think that sats has like the best chance of being like kind of making it into the top 15, top 20, maybe even top 10, I think, tokens out of like anything BRC related. What do you think?
Yeah, I seem to agree. Like at one point it was Audi taking the lead, and now it's kind of taken the back seat.
Yep.
I'm still trying to understand what's happened, but Sats is sitting at around a 1.8 billion market cap now, and Audi hasn't seen any action since it reached all-time high.
Yep.
So
yeah,
I think
Audi's been showing.
You know, there's a lot of whales speculating, and also the Unisat DEX has opened up to more people now. And there's a lot more liquidity on there, and every pair is paired with sats.
Sure.
You know, so I've got to think like, why didn't they do Audi?
Yeah.
There's a possibility people are speculating that Unisat have a huge bag of sats. Possibly even like 30%, up to like 30% of the supply.
Yeah.
You know, because
I could see that.
You know, they want to fill their bags and pump their bags, and you know, it's not really any different to any tokenomic model where the team have their team tokens. So
sure.
I think the reason why they got sats is because Audi was too expensive at the time, and sats was still minted.
Okay.
That's my thesis, you know, and a few other people are talking about it, but
sure,
I think you can take at least 25% of the supply out of circulation due to like VCs and Unisat.
Interesting. Yeah, and I think they just got a pretty large investment from Binance, right?
Yeah, I think it's a $50 million rate, something like that.
Yep. Yeah, somewhere around 50 million. So now Binance is probably I don't know if they're a majority owner, but they own a good chunk. I think that I don't think there's ever going to be like a Binance smart chain season ever again, really. I think there will be some stuff that'll happen on BNB around Binance Smart Chain, but like my view is that like sats is kind of going to like replace that BSC season in a way, because you know there's just like so much negativity I think surrounding Binance Smart Chain, and you have this like kind of super fresh eco that a lot more players are incentivized to make work than something like BNB and Binance Smart Chain. And so that's kind of like my blow off like bull case for sats is like something like a BNB.
Yeah, and I think in regards to just like development, this isn't as easy as developing on an EVM where they can just fork a chain, fork Uniswap, fork all these things. You got to think like the amount of development that's going into Bitcoin now, and the speed they're moving. They're still really far behind all the other protocols.
Sure.
So it is still super early. There isn't any. I think we've only just recently got stable coins and some kind of bridge. Like, that's still like where we're at now, like the very early innings of development. So that's kind of my thesis as well, is that when I start seeing a bit more cohesiveness and the ecosystem, things actually working, that's a, I'm not gonna say exit target, but that's when you can start thinking about, oh, this is now saturated.
Sure.
And I think all the time we will have like ups and downs, but I think net up over a period of time is what I'm speculating on.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like this eco is like the easiest just leveraged Bitcoin play.
Yeah, and one of the guys in our chats, he said he doesn't understand this BRC-20 stuff. Do you just deposit your money, get 100x, and you're always early? He said, you're always early every single time, but everyone's early.
Wasn't that JC?
It was JCD Denton's.
Yeah.
It kind of made me take a bit off it.
He's like, everyone's always talking about it, but somehow we're still early and everyone's going to 100x.
Yeah, and it's funny he says that, but like it has been that way the last 2 or 3, 4 weeks. It's been very difficult to actually lose money on BRC-20. Like compared to even in like Pepe season, everything was going crazy, but you could still lose money
because there are tons of rugs.
You can get rugged, the slow rugs, but in BRC-20, there's such little competition that something comes out and it claims to be a stable coin, you buy it, it's a no-brainer.
Well, like you were saying before, it's like a new ecosystem. The investment and development is there's a lot more friction, right? You can't just like fork something. So anyone who's developing has to at least be like, somewhat serious, or they just have like a really advanced, elaborate rug. But it's more likely that they're just investing in development long term. And so it's just it's just better for us.
Yeah, and I think as well it's a lot easier to find out if something's a scam or not on BRC-20s compared to Ethereum. On Ethereum, you don't really know. On Bitcoin, if they're proclaiming it's going to be like a really complicated system, you'll be like, well, that's not even possible yet.
Yeah,
you can look into the team. I just found that it's a lot easier to see if something's legit.
Yeah, it's also because everyone kind of knows each other, I guess, right? And so it's a smaller amount of projects and smaller amount of companies that are developing. So it's like, someone like the TRAC dev might promote a new project coming out, and you're like, okay, this is safe. And it seems like there's a lot of it, a lot of kind of like referrals or
co-sign.
Yep, exactly. So it's cool. Up only. Should we? Yeah, exactly. So so it's funny. So you've been cutting off a little bit. I've been trimming a little bit as well. This was a bag that I trimmed, that we both trimmed. So I think last time we talked about this one on stream a couple weeks ago, it was like bouncing around between like around 250, 150. I shaved a little bit like in this zone to chase some AI Ponzi's, but then when I saw this coming back, I rotated back in and was able to like capture pretty much all this move, thankfully. But yeah, it's crazy.
I think I entered for my BONK Chris Shield at 80 cents, as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, wow, this looks good. You know, I read the white paper. I was a bit skeptical that it worked, because when they proclaim they're going to do these things, is it actually going to work? But I thought, I want to be involved anyway. I think I added at 220. I think I doubled my bag, rode it all the way down again to 140. I just bag held. I think I started shaving around 620 around here. I think I took off 65% of my bag, which I didn't really want to do.
Yeah.
But I just had to avoid a massive drawdown and the Christmas tree pattern.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, you need to rotate in other things, potentially have some stables for a massive correction. Yeah, you know, it makes sense, but you know, this thing will probably double in another week, and we'll regret shaving probably, but it is what it is. It's just it's good practice.
Yeah, I think so. Like, and the way this thing can go as well, like if this thing does become the maker DAO of Bitcoin, you know, obviously that's Moonboy targets. It could easily go 4, 5, 6x from here still.
Totally.
You know, the team's valid. It's a company called Bounce. If you want to look on Twitter, Bounce Finance and ANKR. So ANKR, Anchor.
Should I pull it up, or no need?
No, people can search it up themselves if they want, but
okay.
You know, Bounce Finance, Anchor, they're creating more use cases for the DAII, the stable coin for BSSB. They're utilizing it in their launch pad. So they're
so they have their own launch pad too?
Yeah, so Bounce Finance is a launch pad.
Okay.
And they're using DAII for their launch pads now, their launches.
Got it. So
it seems to me that it is becoming accepted, and I think about 20 million DAI has been minted so far. Quite a lot. Yeah.
So, I mean, hopefully, you know, marketplaces and other means of exchanges will start adapting DAI, start adding liquidity for it. So we'll see, I guess. Movement. Yep. Cool. So yeah, I think this is kind of like a good staple. It's like the leader in BTC stablecoins, I guess, right now. So that's kind of like a staple of the index. Yeah. TURT. So we can talk about this one. This was kind of a funny token. Like we barely put anything in. And you know, looked like it was pretty much dead for a while. But I imagine that probably some launchpad that they, you know, that TURT incubated probably took off, and that's what I imagine that started sending this rally. Do you kind of know?
Yeah, so
I know Mubi took off, but
so Mubi was the first launch of TURT. I had the pre-sale for TURT, but it was around like June, July time. And it just seemed really slow. I was like, all right, whatever, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, just write it off.
You know, so I could have gotten at 100k market cap, Mubi at like 100k market cap. But the first launch on TURT was Mubi.
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
Ever since then, they've just been going parabolic. As it's kind of been like a token system, as in like TURT's been going crazy, Mubi's been going crazy, and BSSB. You know, and then you've got Dover as well, which has kind of been creeping up there.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's like this is the most action on chain ETH that you can see are just you know, BRC proxies.
Yeah, and they've been the top trending volumes for the last week or so. But people seem to like TURT, and I think as well, like it's a case of changing our valuation models, because 4 or 5 months ago, a token reaching over 100 million market cap was a big thing.
Yeah.
But now these tokens like Mubi are blasting through like 250, 300 million, like in a week. And
you have crazy stuff. Like what's Rats at right now?
I think Rats is around a 600 million market cap.
It's insane. Just like random, like dog shit, basically. Random memes.
And like, it just makes me think that we have to reevaluate our targets, because this is China. It's like a China bid here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So that's, do you want to kind of talk through that thesis a little bit where, you know, BRCs just kind of attract more, more like Chinese money, I guess.
Yeah. So it was just like something I noticed on Twitter. A lot of guys would say the same thing, as a lot of this is driven by Chinese money. They just seem to love stuff that we don't understand, like letters and numbers.
Yeah.
Stuff that sounds like other tokens and stuff like that. But in China, a lot of crypto is banned.
Yep.
And you know, Bitcoin isn't.
Yep.
So the thesis is that China's speculating on the BRC-20 stuff, you know, and also they want
so this is kind of like a workaround for them to like legally speculate, because this is all happening on Bitcoin.
Yeah. My thing is like,
pretty funny.
Whatever we have as a price target, we should probably times it by at least 2.5 at least.
Yeah.
Just to accommodate the China bid.
Sure.
Kind of where I'm at in my head is like, okay, this will go to 100 million. Not in our mind, let's say 250, 300 because of China.
Sure. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I think from a country standpoint, you know, obviously China has kind of been a little bit behind due to like regulations and being able to like control things like, you know, mining. How many times have they banned mining? So it's almost like it's a good way for them to kind of take more market share, is being, you know, early as fuck to the Bitcoin ecosystem. It's a way for them to like quickly catch up, I guess, to where you know, they weren't controlling much of like the hash rate anymore, for example, you know.
I agree. Someone asked a question about cheese. Am I bullish on cheese? Huh? Yeah, I do know about cheese.
Okay.
I'm bullish on, me personally. If they're going to go up, they're all going to go up, right? That's how it is. Pick the fastest horse. Like, yeah. So
cheese is a rats deriv?
It was deployed by the same person who deployed rats.
Got it. So, I mean, if rats is still going up or like consolidating near all-time highs, then cheese is like, you know, a lower market cap launch, then sounds like a great play.
Yeah, my thing is, my thesis, I think personally, someone's going to announce a like an LP, the yield system on BATC soon. That's what I'm looking for. And in there, it's going to be like rats. It's going to be all animals.
Yeah.
You mean, and maybe something like cheese would be like the reward token.
So we're kind of playing out like the whole food farm early, like Ethereum yield farming meta on BTC with like rats and cheese and other farm animals.
Yeah, like, that's what I think. That's my. We're running back the same playbook, aren't we? We've done this before.
100%.
Yeah, you know all the protocols. It's not like someone's going to create like an airplane coin. We're looking for things that we know. Farms. We're looking for stable coins. You know, P2E gaming, lending. So we know what to look for, and as soon as them things come out, we find them early. You know, they're going to be going parabolic.
Yep.
It's just a case of finding a dev that actually can do it.
Sure. Yep. There probably aren't many of them yet. So cool. Yeah, bullish on cheese if rats is still going up or near the highs. Okay, so let's move on to MotoSwap. This is Oshi, right?
Yeah, so there was a disagreement in the Oshi team, and one of the devs parted ways, and the Oshi team branded off to MotoSwap. I believe that Merlin was a dev for Oshi, and he had quite a large supply of Oshi tokens.
Yep.
He's been selling off for the last 4 to 5 months.
Sure.
He has been suppressing the price.
Yeah.
And they're going to migrate to Moto when they're finished developing.
Got it.
So Oshi to me was just like a good play risk RR wise, where
because it's so low.
It's so low, and they was a leading player. They was above TRAC at one point.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You know, and that happened. I was like, all right, well, they still got the infrastructure, they've got a good team. There's projects on BRC with a lot less, and these guys seem like a dark horse. I don't want to miss out. You know, so
yeah. If the remaining developers were still devs are still deving.
Yeah, and I think like it's going to be a 1,000 tokens per one Oshi airdrop.
Cool.
So I imagine when that news comes out, we know the token's going to probably 5x in a day.
Yep.
As soon as they say the word airdrop, that shit's getting swept up.
Yeah, absolutely. Airdrop season for sure.
So yeah, and that's going to be a swap and an indexer as well.
Okay. So what did this thing dip to when you added?
I think, well, we got in about $300 per token.
Yep.
So that's like a clean 3.5x. It was the price action is very choppy.
Yeah, pretty liquid,
but I think it's part of the it's a good dark horse play. It's kind of sure playing that.
Yep. Yeah, people kind of counted them out after the dev issues, but seems like a good one. Should we go over to bitmaps for a sec?
Should we do that with the TAP tokens?
You want to talk about TAP first?
Have we done all the BRC-20s?
Let's see. Should we talk about QUAQ?
Yeah, so I had my friend messaging me about this one.
Yeah.
It's called QUAQ, QUAQ.
Yep.
And you need 1 million tokens, which is, I believe, is about, what's it? I think it's about $1,000. And what that is going to give you a whitelist or it's give you airdrop for Domo ducks when they come out.
Yeah.
And the Domo ducks, I think it's a supply maybe 1,000 supply, maybe less. But it's going to be all on rare sats. Block 9 rare sats.
Yeah. So another ordinal maxi bit is kind of
exactly, yeah.
Marketing play.
Yeah, and I like the fact that it's not coming out yet. You know, it's kind of under the radar. It's coming out mid-January. Maybe we have more froth then.
Yeah. Also, the duck meta. What's that NFT project on Sol that's doing really well? Is it QUAQ?
Oh, I'm not entirely sure.
Oh yeah. So QUAQ is kind of like one of the main like meme NFTs. I think so. For NFTs on Solana, you have obviously Mad Lads, in the one spot. You have Tensorians, but like I think in terms of just no utility, stupid NFT like going crazy, QUAQ has gone insane. So I think when you have like certain types of
animals.
Yeah, exactly. Like you look for similarities in reasons for things to pump, and if QUAQ like duck PFPs are going crazy on Solana, more people will look for duck related plays on in other places. So I like the ducks.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, like most communities win in the end. Really, like not a high proportion of communities in the end they do win if they're a good community. If they're not a good community, they just die. But there'll be some kind of dunking at some point in the chat, like, oh yeah, the fucking sellers in disbelief, all this stuff. And the community in Domo Ducks, they're diamond handed, they're all good community. I check in there all the time, and like I very rarely check in the discords. Yeah, so that's saying something. So I think for what it's worth, like such a low market cap, I think it's like, what was it, like $1 million market cap maximum, maybe even 500K for, and I think it's overlooked. Yeah, compared to like how the other projects are going.
Yeah, so if you have like a super active community and they have 700 followers on Twitter, there's probably like some asymmetric info there.
Exactly, yeah. And my friend from the pit showed us this opportunity. So we got on.
Cool. Yeah. So another good play. Do you want to talk about bitmaps, or do we want to go into TRAC?
Talk about TRAC.
TRAC. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So obviously TRAC's been going well. We were talking about like taking off some of this recently. Yesterday hit, it's like 750, and we loaded up around here.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
Going pretty well. Thank you, Hxro, for the research. But yeah, I guess with this one, they still don't have a T1 listing,
No.
So like I think a good way to play this would be just hold until you have like a Binance listing.
I think there's kind of like, we all know there's like shady business as well with sex listings.
Yep.
I feel like it's a lot harder for a team to get listed unless they pursue it, But let's say Audi never had a team, normally propped up by whales with large bags who pay the exchanges on the behalf of the token and the community to kind of offload their positions.
Exactly.
But stuff like TRAC normally get listed on stuff like Mexi first.
Yep.
I think Binance is going to be hard getting listed.
You think so? Why?
I don't know. I just have that feeling that.
I mean, Binance has actually specifically posted about TRAC.
They have indeed, yeah. I just have a funny feeling that if they post it, GG, it's going to fucking go crazy. And I want it to get posted. Of course.
I mean, and it's kind of like a competitor to Sats in a way, right?
That's true, exactly. So does Binance want to post a competitor of Unisat if our thesis is true that Binance has a finger in the pie of Unisat?
Yep. So yeah, if Binance owns a lot of Unisat, you're right. They probably wouldn't list TRAC as much, but given the popularity, it should get more listings, I guess.
Yeah. I think it's just Benny is a dev. He's the only person with TRAC. Sure. They just raised $4 million, I believe, this week. So they'll be employing more team members. So Benny will be able to focus more on the marketing, the exchange listings, all that stuff. Because at the minute he's running 3 protocols. He's running TRAC, he's running TAP, and he's running Pipe.
Yep.
He's got a lot of work to do. So that's good news that they've raised that money, and that should allow them to, further develop the product.
Totally.
So my main thing now with BRC-20, I'm really bullish on TAP as an ecosystem. TAP is TRAC's, or Benny's dev for TRAC, is their other protocol, and it's completely separate to BRC-20.
Yeah.
Now, TRAC holders will be getting a airdrop of TAP, and I believe that's going to happen. I'm going to say end of January, mid-February, I think.
So that's probably why TRAC has been pumping so much. Right?
Yeah, TAP hasn't came out yet because TRAC is supposed to govern TAP and Pipe. So TRAC is the governance token for all of the ecosystems.
Sure.
So when TAP comes out, TRAC has more under its management, under its umbrella.
Yep.
That kind of thing. So
sure.
The reason why TAP hasn't came out, as far as I'm aware, is that we're waiting for the Ord client 1.0 update where the ordinals go out of beta. So we're still, BRC-20 is still in beta.
Sure.
We're in 0.9 edition. When
do you know what change, like what changes are coming out with that?
Yeah, so now this is I've limited knowledge, but I know the words are like, there's something called parent-child inscriptions. Yeah, that apparently means we'll be able to have DeFi on chain.
Okay.
It's kind of the thing. So at the minute, there's limited functionality, but when parent-child inscriptions come out, you'll be able to create a inscription that's a parent inscription, and then you can have 1,000 inscriptions off of that parent inscription. So there's like a link between, there's like a on-chain link between two inscriptions. It's kind of how it works. So I think you'll be able to have staking, you'll be able to have all this stuff, and that's what TAP protocol is designed for.
Sure.
It's designed to have more functionalities to be able to have DeFi on chain.
Got it.
So I think,
yeah, that's wild. I mean, that in of itself should reprice TRAC significantly.
Yeah, and it is really overlooked. Like, you have atomicals, you have like Doge inscriptions, all these inscriptions, they're over like 200 million market cap, 250 million market cap, and
crazy.
Once this TAP launches, what's that going to be priced at? You know, I reckon 100, 200 million. It's the first of a protocol. Yeah,
yep.
I believe when.
But then what does that mean? TRAC would be repriced at if TAP is 200 million.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5 million, 100 million, really.
Yeah.
You know, my prediction is that when the order client comes out 1.0, Benny from TRAC is going to release his new marketplace, and that's going to be similar to like a CoinGecko website where you have a list of all these TAP tokens.
Yep.
You know, so it'll be a brand new slate for or competitor to Unisat, where we're going to have a bunch of new tokens pop out, a bunch of new use cases, and then the money's going to flow over there. I think money has started to slowly flow over, but there aren't many tokens on TAP at present.
Yep.
You know, in fact, there's not much. You got BITMAP, which people don't actually know as a TAP token. It's kind of taken on a life of its own.
Yeah.
What does that floor price say now? I can't see.
I think it's like 160, 170 or something. Yeah, 170 basically.
What's that as Bitcoin? Is that 0.44?
It's 0.004.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I finally picked up some of these the other week. Got about 20 of them. They're up like 60% ish in about a week. But yeah, I mean, this is in terms of like things that have not pumped yet. This is one of your favorite plays from like a risk reward standpoint. Yeah. What's your thesis on bitmaps?
Let me ask this question. So me personally, I use Unisat wallet, but I've started to use Xverse, and Xverse have a mobile wallet. So that's something to consider as well. It's like Unisat don't have a mobile wallet, so I advise definitely getting Xverse, because you never know when you're out somewhere and you need to do some. And you need to do some degen. It never works out well when I do that. Like, I'll be out somewhere, I'll need to make a trade, it always loses.
Yeah. I mean, I have like me personally, I have like a strict no mobile phone trading policy.
Yeah. Why is that?
I think really from just a security standpoint.
Oh, okay.
How often do you hear about like SIM swapping and your phone being compromised? It seems like it's just a lot easier to have a mobile wallet compromised than a desktop wallet.
Yeah, makes sense. So for these bitmaps, they have the highest holder base in any metaverse project. Firstly, that's a big thing.
Bitcoin metaverse.
Bitcoin metaverse. The development of that, the community's come around to develop this thing is crazy. A lot of development occurring. It's the first non-arbitrary token.
The first
emissions. Non-arbitrary token that has emission schedule, which means every block a new bitmap gets mined, which is interesting. It's only, I think it's about, there's 880,000 bitmaps at 160, so that's about 120 million market cap. You know, that's pretty, to me. You got BRC-20s or tokens, ordinal tokens, you got Bitcoin NFTs, and then you got BITMAP.
Yeah.
It might as well be its own thing. It's completely separate. It's not, you can't compare it to frogs, you can't compare it to any of that. BITMAP is its own completely separate thing. You could like the whole P2E sector on chain. That's the only one so far. So my thesis is that like over the next 6 to 12 months, these people are going to be airdropped tokens all the time. They're going to be on whitelist. It's going to be similar to the BAYC trade.
Interesting.
I think another way you can compare it actually, because I've kind of noticed symmetry when we trade BRC-20s in, like, let's say Solana eco right now.
Yep.
And the same thing happened in Pepe season. When Pepe went to 1 billion, Audi went to 1 billion as well. You know, there seemed to be this
what did?
Audi.
Audi did. Okay.
Yeah, John Pepe season. So I would actually compare the BITMAP play to the Solana phone play. That's what we're doing. That's how I'd compare it, where you're speculating on over a period of time, there's going to be airdrops that's going to overtake the value of the BITMAP you bought at initially.
Sure.
You know, which is the thesis. So.
Yep.
And people don't realize as well, like, BITMAP is technically under the TRAC protocol because it's on tap.
Sure. Yeah, that's crazy. And so BITMAP isn't. That just adds more fuel to the fire of TRAC being incredibly undervalued. If you have these projects under the ecosystem that are almost as high market cap as, like, the overlaying asset.
Yeah, people haven't made the connection yet, but I think the reason why the price is so suppressed right now, two main. I think number one reason is gas fees right now. I tried to buy 5 BITMAPs the other day, 2 days ago, and haven't gone through yet.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and haven't gone through. My $700 trapped.
Oh my God! Yeah, I was telling you the other day or last week. It took about an hour like an hour and a half just to receive, like, BTC in my Unisat wallet.
Yeah, and it's just absurd. So my thesis is that once the wrapped equivalent comes out, the token wrapped map, that's just going to unlock so much liquidity.
Sure.
And, you know, any barrier to entry getting taken down is a good thing.
Totally.
So that's my thesis too. Why it hasn't pumped harder already.
Why doesn't someone just launch wrapped TRAC too?
Yeah.
You know, like it's such an easy no-brainer play. If you're like a market maker and you have coins, that, like, are, you know, basically alt L1s essentially, that no one has a place to trade them, but they're like multiple $100 million products. It's like the easiest layup. Just launch liquidity for them on Ethereum, and the project would move.
Same thing that Potenza done, right?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't buy Tau. I didn't buy Tau on whatever their exchange was. I just bought wrapped Tau.
Yeah, and same for me as well.
Yep. So interesting.
Trying to think what else there is. But yeah, my main focus now for the next month or two is just getting immersed in the TAP ecosystem.
Yeah.
Finding the new plays, because I think that's really overlooked, and that's where it seems that I can just see that will be the natural rotation for me.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good place to be right now. Do you own any Doginals? Random question.
No, I don't own any Doginals just because I don't want to oversaturate myself now, because there's so many different plays.
I know.
You know, it's always better to pick the leader. Something we talked about many times, like, why go out the risk curve, because it never ends well.
Totally.
You know, even though you may make a lot of money off of it, but the leader always wins in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously we're joking that we're still early here, but I think we're early enough generally where you don't have to go that far down on the risk curve, and you know, you could still get a 10x on something like a BITMAP in a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah, and I think it's funny as well, like, seeing these crypto Twitter influencers start coming into the BRC-20 ecosystem and saying stuff like, these things are the highest conviction bags. And I'm thinking, this guy the guy's been in the game for like 2 days.
Yeah.
And he's saying his highest conviction bag is Comsats. Something like that, you know. I'm like, okay, wow.
Sure.
Does he really know? You know? Why do we care what he says?
Yeah, I mean, for example, that stream, Hxro pit stream with Ansem just a couple days ago. Like Ansem was bullish on BRCs, but he didn't really have anything to shill, you know.
Yeah.
And
said,
I think like, what's that?
No, he said he didn't know how to play it, didn't he? And I can kind of understand, because when you move that kind of size, how do you play it? You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard to have a lot of conviction on it if you're if you're pretty much haven't been paying close attention. And I think most larger CT influencer accounts just have not been paying attention.
Yeah, I think they make themselves early as well, as if like, let's say they find a project and they start shilling it. It goes up because they're the ones that adopted the project, and it seems like they're early. You know, a lot of times they're not really early; they're just responsible for the rotation.
Totally. Yeah.
It's just realizing that, isn't it, beforehand?
Yep. Exactly. Just kind of like copy trading. A bunch of people copy trading. Cool. So should we go over Solana stuff briefly?
Yeah, sure.
So I think a lot of people are calling tops on Solana. I think there have been an insane amount of top signals. Let me pull up BONK too real quick. Let's see. The Solana phone is pretty interesting. That was another JC Denton trade. He bought a couple of Solana phones, I think. He pre-ordered them for like $700 or $800 or something.
I was thinking about this the other day. The Solana phone opportunity to me is still the same as it was last year. So people last year are dunking on people now, saying, "Oh, they was early."
Yeah,
but they paid $700 back then for a phone without an airdrop because they didn't know about it. So you can buy a Solana phone on eBay now for $2,200 with a guaranteed $900 airdrop. So you're paying $1,100.
Yeah.
So the opportunity is still,
and the $900 airdrop, that's just BONK, right?
That's just BONK. So like the opportunity now is exactly the same as it was last year. In fact, it's actually better now because
the risk reward is guaranteed.
Yeah, there's more certainty. You know, a roadmap's been created by BONK. There's going to be more airdrops, and I don't think the opportunity's late. I think the opportunity. I've been thinking about buying some myself.
I agree. I think it's a great play. I personally don't have time to manage it. You know, like that's a whole nother like airdrop farm kind of field. And you know, you really just have to stay updated with the protocols. You know, they airdropped mobile tokens to Solana phone holders as well.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think what it is, I'm pretty sure it's not just Solana phone. You just need a Helium mobile SIM card.
Yeah,
that's all it is. And if you got a Solana mobile SIM card for $20, you get $9 a day in mapping.
Really?
Yeah, and that was before it pumped 50%. So
Crazy.
It's probably more like $14 a day for the mobile phone.
For mapping for Helium.
For mapping, yeah, but it's not as comprehensive as the old 5G Ponzi's where you had to do 10 miles of walking. This one, you're getting $14 a day for just normal traveling, really.
Yeah. What do you have to do to map and get $14 a day?
I can't answer the specifics, but I just know that if you had a radio at your house, you would just need to be in front of it. Maybe.
Oh, okay. So it's not like you have to map like this massive radius in a bunch of different neighborhoods. You can pretty much just like connect to your own radio.
Exactly. Yeah. And I wanted to double back on the Solana thing. Like the play with Solana phone is you buy the phone and you don't open it ever. You hold. So there's no like airdrop farming. It's more so free airdrop. So you buy the phone, you don't open it, and then you hold it until like next year. And you hope that the tokens airdrop to that NFT are worth more than that phone. And people are speculating that it could be worth like $50,000 per phone, which
wow,
it doesn't seem too far-fetched. It's a 20,000 supply NFT project, essentially.
Yep.
You know,
But and there's I mean there's actually a physical piece of technology associated with it. So
exactly. Yeah.
I think it's pretty unique as far as an NFT goes. So you can get access to the wallet without even opening the phone.
Well, you wouldn't need to. You would just because it's a passive airdrop system. So you would just claim it when you open the box. And when you bought the box, let's say you paid 10 grand for it in a year's time because it's gone up in price. You would open the box, and when you open the phone, all of the tokens would be in the wallet.
Oh, gotcha. You're just saying you don't even need to pay attention to it because it's just automatically going to the wallet that you already have. Got it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it isn't much of a time investment, is what you're saying.
No, it's not a time investment. No.
Wow. Cool. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of like, that is another sleeper play, underratedly, because everyone probably is thinking of how ridiculous it would be to spend, $2K on eBay to buy a Solana phone, and like no one's going to do that. But you're saying it's probably actually a great play. It might be like a 10x, 20x play.
Yeah, I think me personally, I think there's two factors. Are they going to increase the supply? If it's a limited supply and they're not making any more, then that's different to they're going to release 100,000 more next month.
So I think that'd be pretty bearish.
Yeah, so that's the case. Like if they are going to limit the supply, it's a no-brainer. But
so something that might go into that might stop them from increasing the supply is that I've heard the phone does kind of just suck. Like it just doing anything using the phone. I think JC and some others have said it's just incredibly buggy. It's very slow. It crashes all the time. So is the team that's working on the Solana phone, are they just going to spend the money manufacturing a bunch more that are still buggy, or are they going to work on development, which will take a little bit longer?
Do you know what I think could be really dumb and really crypto-esque? Is if like they release another 50,000, but the old ones are called the OGs, the OG pads. And then like whenever there's an airdrop, the OG pads gets like double the amount or something like that. And they've been rebasing phone.
And the phone is like knowingly just like a brick. It like can't really do anything. Maybe it can like get one message. It can't even open like a crypto wallet or something.
Exactly. But imagine they're gonna bring another phone out, but it'd probably be better, I imagine, right?
Yep, that would be so funny. But yeah, let's briefly talk about mobile. So I know it's a sore subject for a little bit for me, but mostly for you. Obviously, mobile is a kind of decentralized wireless provider on Helium. It's an official Helium project, right?
It is. Essentially Helium. Like what happened was H&T split into two tokens, mobile and IoT, and the original project is called IoT now, and mobile is a 5G branch, and the H&T is just a government.
So IoT is kind of like Helium Classic or Mobile Classic.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the Internet of Things project, which is sensors and that kind of thing.
Yep.
But this is all about 5G, Wi-Fi, and CBRS. And they have a partnership with T-Mobile. And they have a SIM card, which is, I believe, it's $20 a month for the SIM card, but it pays for itself within like 2 days.
Really?
So this was kind of a play on the move to earn narrative. Where you're buying a phone and it's kind of a derivative, low key of you walk and you get paid.
Yeah.
You're mapping, you've got your phone, you're walking in front of radios. The more radios you connect to, the more money you get. And the flywheel seems to have taken off recently. And I know a lot of people on this project, I know personally, have made big 7-figure returns on this project.
Yeah. So a lot of like the mobile farmers that you were talking to back when you were doing it, I assume a lot of them just kept kept mining.
Yeah, so there were some people who did cash out, but I know some people who have held a lot of tokens, and I know one guy he's getting like $3,000 a day from this right now.
Oh my god!
You know, I was once contracted to set up nearly 200 of these things for one of these guys. I thought he was crazy. He's put $500,000 into radios.
Yeah.
You know, all over the place, and I'm pretty sure he's pretty happy now.
Yeah.
He's probably
good
doing
for him.
Like 30K a day at least.
Seriously. So where's the sync? Like, how is this thing going up when you have people that have just been, you know, printing like that?
I think, do you know what I think? I think that now that there's the mobile, the Solana phone, the mobile phone thing, it goes into people's wallets. It further spreads the token out, and a lot of people don't know how to sell. Also, a lot of the farmers, they just seem to be diamond-handed. I think they're just moon boys, and I think they're probably going to get wrecked. To be honest, they're already talking about mobile flipping HNT.
Sure, I mean that's crazy.
Yeah, I was talking to them earlier. I was like, never has a token overthrown the mother. You know, it's very rare. That's happened once or twice, ever. But they're talking about moon boy targets. You know, so in regards to token stakes, I believe if a new carrier wants to come online, so let's say Dish Wireless wants to utilize the network, they have to lock up a large amount of tokens.
Yeah, but that's like an imaginary catalyst. It's not. It's not real right now.
Yeah, the token sinks are the same as bonks.
Yeah, exactly.
Moon boys eating the tokens and holding on to them. Yeah,
but bonk, I mean, you haven't had people farming for a year.
Exactly, it was an airdrop. The emissions are pretty high.
Yeah.
Put it this way, I got one location left, and out of 28, out of 7, 1 out of 7 left, and that's printing $350 a day.
Yeah.
After 18 months, you know, that's pretty good.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think so. Did you get my radios back up yet?
Yeah, I'm going to collect them today.
No worries, man. Just giving you shit.
If anyone wants to get involved in this project now, like, I've got some for sale.
Yeah, there you go.
But for real, these are going to sell out pretty fast. I believe you can get the radios for $9.99 a month, $9.99 in total. Sorry.
Yeah.
I believe they're going to sell out really fast, and if this thing takes off like Helium did, if Helium goes to all-time high, I think you'll struggle to get hold of any.
Yeah, supply squeeze. Yep. So I mean, I think.
Sorry, go.
I guess what I was saying is that I think the play here is, I obviously don't think this price action will be sustained. That it gets slapped down pretty quickly and then probably holds a floor of, maybe like 5x what it was off this bottom. Who knows? But I think the play would be that this is still kind of like leveraged Solana in a way.
Yeah.
So, whenever Solana does reach another all-time high, this thing will probably also reach an all-time high. And so I think we have, I think it's still good RR to set up a mining operation for like, another, maybe not 12 months, maybe 8 months, maybe 6 months, until pretty much whenever Solana hits another all-time high. And then I bet mobile will also reach a new all-time high around that point. And so, another good play. It's not too late.
Yeah, and I think as well, like, if you have a location that has a good line of sight, you've got a property next to a field, then you'll be silly not to try to look into this, because a property like that, you'll be looking at 5 to 6 times the amount of tokens that anyone else is getting.
Yep.
So you'll get your return on investment within 3 days.
Crazy.
At current rate, maybe 2 or 3 days, you get return on investment.
Yeah.
And that's unheard of. But there's risks involved. The token could go to zero, so that's
Sure.
something to consider. And maybe you're better at buying the tokens, all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I was joking. My parents own a bunch of land in the mountains. Joking about setting up some radios on their roof. So yeah, we'll see if it happens. But okay, yeah, I think mobile's a really good play. I sold a couple days ago around like 0.03. I guess regretting that, but it is what it is. I might rotate that into like some radios. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, maybe. Do you have any other plays on Solana that you're into right now, or should we go into memes?
I'll tell you what. Let's look at this project called KPOP just for lols.
Okay, cool. Is it Dex Screener?
Yes, it's called KPOP, so just K-pop on Dex Screener.
Yeah, who did Krish shield this one?
Krish shielded this one, yeah. It was just
okay.
It's probably gone to zero now.
No.
What market cap is that?
So this is like a Solana meme token, basically, right?
Yeah, like
Jesus Christ. Dude, you know this pattern. This is like the scam, the post like scam launch pattern where you think it's basically going to rug, and then it just immediately goes to new all-time high.
Yeah, like I definitely don't. This is a very volatile token. I just wanted to explain the opportunity that we had. Chris shielded this at I think 30k market cap.
30k.
30k, yeah, and he told us that there was a K-pop artist from Blackpink in a Telegram.
Wow.
30k, and
was it verified? I mean, anyone can say that, right?
That's the thing. Like, that's the alpha is like it's very easy to just read something and not verify. I never verified because I'm lazy. I wish I did. I wish I dove into Telegram and found out. I believe it to be true, and this thing has been going crazy.
And so it's just a meme token that's basically backed by like a K-pop star.
Exactly, yeah, from Blackpink, who's like a very popular artist in South Korea or something.
Got it. So I think we could potentially learn something from that, where if you have an influencer that isn't native to crypto, that isn't like a known like rugger, like a Kim Kardashian or something, or someone that's just like too big, where it doesn't really make sense. This was kind of like a play out of left field. I like it more that it's not a crypto influencer involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I was kind of hitting myself because I only had $5 on Solana at the time. I was like, I might just chuck in $5 because that's what I've got. But
yeah,
the alpha is like when someone shows you asymmetric information that way, you have to at least spend 5 minutes researching it, at least 5 to 10 minutes digging deep, because the amount of scams we invest in without even researching, we know ourselves enough to. Pepe, for example, I didn't click the website until it hit $1 billion market cap.
Yeah,
I never even opened the website, but I opened the website of so many other scams. It's just a case of like, I think having that direction to be like to strike when the iron's hot,
or if something is 30k, like, and if it's right, you know what it's capable of, like how many multiples it could do. You could have chucked in that $5 and would have actually come out with something, Would
have been $500, and maybe it was But I thought it was a funny story anyway, and I wanted to beat on Krish as well for not buying into it himself.
Oh my God, yeah, he's got to ape some of the things he shills. I mean, we all do it, but I think a good example of that is Whiff. So this is kind of like my biggest miss, I think, of my career.
Wow.
I shilled this thing in the pit at yep, dog of hat. I shilled this thing in the pit, like it was at like 100k market cap, like right around here. And I was holding it for a few weeks and wasn't doing anything, and kind of like yourself, like I don't want to be spread too thin. I just don't have the time to like check all of these projects, be constantly in the weeds. And I just rotated my bag out of whiff, like right here, at a 2x at 200K. And then basically, obviously, went on to do that's a 90x almost. Or no. This is going to be like, I think a 900x from the top.
Shit, yeah, 200K to 5 million. Jesus Christ.
Or no, it was, well, I bought it at 100. So
okay,
yeah. So that's like a 900x at the top. Yeah.
You obviously didn't know. You obviously didn't know he had a hat.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I did have a thesis behind it. The community was rating one of Blockmate's tweets, and there was just a ton of them. You know, there's like maybe 20 posts on this random Blockmate's tweet, and you know, the coin was only like 100K market cap at that time. So I was like, this is insane, and it's really easy to meme. And so you know, if you have something, you look for a few things. It's like my meme checklist is the market cap asymmetric to the amount of like community engagement and rating? So that's one big tell. And then the other one is like, how easy is it to meme and post pictures? Like, you know, coming up with funny dogs in a hat is like the easiest thing in the world, and it's funny to everyone. And it's not just a dog, you know, it's not just like a BONK clone. It's you know, it's BONK with a hat, which is hilarious.
It's so hilarious, but it's also so dumb, which makes it more hilarious. You know, like
yes,
one of the things where it's like it makes people see, so it goes higher.
Yeah, absolutely.
People like it's a mid curve thing, right? Like, oh,
yeah,
you put a hat on him, you know, it's not going to go anywhere. And then, you know, the left curve is like, oh, he's got a hat, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's so funny.
But also, I think as well, like, it's just whatever projects these influencers tend to adopt, right? Like Ansem and these guys, they could take on any project if they wanted to and send it to 90 million.
For sure. But I think it's important to realize, and this isn't like a hard rule, you kind of have to like put on your like stand-up comedian hat. You have to like be able to understand like what those people will find funny. Like what are like someone like Ansem, you know, could send anything, but there still are reasons for why someone like him would pick something. And those reasons are the same reasons why, you know, another 2,000 random people will pick will pick those things to throw money at too. So I think you kind of have to dive into
what makes people tick.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of why I like memes in a way. It's like really like diving deep into like the psychology of you know, like internet communities.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of like that's why like when I do like fundamental analysis and things invoke a response in myself.
Yeah,
I try to say that when other people are exposed to this, it's going to invoke the same kind of response. But the only reason it hasn't yet is because they don't know about it.
Totally.
When they do know about it, then they're going to think the same thing. That's conviction, isn't it? Like believing something and holding on to it until it's consensus.
Yep.
You know, which is a hard thing.
It's very hard. Tau.
Yeah.
For example, whiff. Yeah, there wasn't consensus. It struck me out, and now there's massive consensus.
Yeah. Should we?
This was.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah, I gotta plug a couple other ridiculous plays. So this one, QUAQ, which is the rooster on AVAX. So our producer, Coach Popovic, shilled this on a dip. I think it was like right around here, after kind of like AVAX popped off, and you know, this first kind of like relief / early rally type thing, where, you know, Joe with hat. Tons of random things were going crazy on AVAX, and Coach shilled this thing down here. He's like, it's about at a 50% retrace. I really liked the meme. because it's a rooster, and obviously the ticker is hilarious. And so that was my thesis, and I aped, and it seems like this is going to be like the kind of the main leader on AVAX, like the leading dog token. I mean, it's kind of crazy to have an AVAX meme coin already at over 100 mil, don't you think?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And I've kind of faded this whole meme coin run. This this was a native chain mascot theory that every chain has to have a mascot.
Yep.
And they've all been ripping, haven't they? Even on I saw some guy shilling one on SUI chain as well recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was it? I think there's mid, maybe.
I don't recall, but
I don't know if it. Yeah. So yeah, I think one of the great early plays for any chain is obviously going to be a meme token, and so figuring out like what people have consensus on, and figuring out what you think will last, I guess, in terms of the joke. There's a ton of money to be made there. I'm really looking for like whatever this is on Fantom. I think FTM is like the easiest next rotation after AVAX. It kind of always is. And Andre literally just came back. Andre was posting videos doing live streams on some other YouTube channel recently for the first time in, I don't know, years. And so I think FTM kind of sucks as a chain. I really don't like it. But I think there's going to be a lot of easy plays there. So if anyone in the chat is listening and finds an FTM meme and they shill it in the pit, I will give a bounty. I haven't figured out what that's going to be. Maybe it'll be like 10% of the position, but I'll post it as an like open offer in the pit. Because there's going to be this cock in you of FTM. It's going to be some sort of spooky token. And I want to find it.
It's a good incentive.
So, yep.
We fast forward until some guy launching one now in like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Ninja and Katana on Injective. Okay, so are those memes on INJ? Do you know anything about that?
Me personally, like, I've completely faded this Injective run.
Same.
I've heard like a lot of the Milady community been migrating there, like the same kind of vibes.
Really?
He's saying you can
Why?
I don't know, like a lot of autism over there. He said we can track them on coin hole, apparently.
Okay. Huh. Interesting.
But I noticed the project launched on Injective and it was already at 300 million market cap.
Because it was like the only thing that's there.
It was the only thing, yeah. It was called like Talis or something. TALIS.
Okay.
So, when I first saw it, because I've been waiting for the first coin on Injective for a long time, but when I found out it's 300 million, that's high for what I was looking for.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. Coach said Ninja.
Talis NFT project.
Oh wow, this thing's ripping. This looks just like the K-pop chart, right? Yeah. Right? Like this thing is definitely going to new highs. Yeah. Crazy. Oh, dog with nunchucks.
Oh,
so bad. So like my analysis of this would be like, this is probably obviously good for like a short term, like 2-3x, who knows, maybe 10x. But something new and funnier that's not just like a low effort dog with hat copy paste, like is going to overtake this one.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, I wouldn't hold low effort copy pastes for like an extended period of time. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Because it creates like an artificial ceiling where it can never overtake the original.
For sure.
Just
100%. Yep. And then whatever the original does, if the original is tanking, this thing's going to tank.
Yeah.
So
which is dumb, but that's how it goes.
Yeah. It's funny. Okay. So yeah, I mean, there's obviously a ton of KATANA. I guess let me look at KATANA. But yeah, there's a ton of alpha for people that want to find new things that aren't rugs on chains that like don't really have anything going on, like Injective, for example. I think if you want to take the time to be in the weeds there on like new launches, there's easy money. KATANA.
I think as well, like compared to 2021, the rotations are a lot harder now. Back then, there was only really EVMs. Now we have so much more.
Totally.
You've got Injective, you've got SWI, you've got Aptos, you've got Solana, TIA. You've got all these inscriptions things coming out. You've got BRC-20.
Yeah, inscriptions on each individual chain is just crazy.
Yeah, like I think it's very easy to spread yourself too thin if you're not careful. So something to think about.
Agreed. Yeah.
And sticking to one, I just found that last cycle that sticking to a few things and waiting for the money to come to you was better than chasing the hot ball of money.
For sure.
Because we was always late. Like, I remember the first time bridging to AVAX, Messi said it. I bridged
at the top.
Yeah.
I bridged at the literal first top.
Yeah, the first top, and everything just dumped. Like, you know, I had Joe, I had like Husky, I had like all these tokens and
Shebex.
And next thing you know, they're rotating the Fantom, and then I bridged the Fantom, and I'm brought top again.
Yep. So yeah, it is it's extremely tiring to keep track of that. I agree. It's not fun. But yeah, maybe Dog with KATANA here. Maybe this one does well. I don't know. I think the chart looks like it will probably make new highs. But yeah, wouldn't hold this one too long.
And that's the joke we had before, wasn't it? It was like the new range is the top is all-time high and the bottom's all-time low. And that's the range.
Yeah, I know. It's super frustrating because you'll never have a good spot to get in, you know. It's like you either buy and just accept the fact that you might immediately dump back down to all-time low and be willing to hold through that, or you just don't buy. Cool. Well, I think we've pretty much covered what we're mainly focused on. I think base chain, obviously we talked last time, is a bit of a sleeper still. Still holding FrenPet. I don't think it doesn't seem like there's a rush to get into FrenPet. It's just kind of like one of those things I'm accumulating. Toshi's an interesting one because I think this is Brian's cat, right? So this is kind of like the meme coin on base, but I'm not sure. I would be surprised if this thing ever gets listed on Coinbase because I think it's like too closely connected to Brian. I think like from a compliance standpoint, it would be a bad look for Coinbase to release Brian's cat as a token on Coinbase. I feel like that the SEC might not like that.
I know. I understand. I kind of think there's going to be like some kind of like integration of base chain on Coinbase at some point, where like you'll be able to go on Coinbase, and there'll be
check on your pets.
Yeah, there'll be like a way to trade your Coinbase wallet on Coinbase. I just can't see why Coinbase are not going to integrate. Let me start again to make it seamless to go from Coinbase to their base wallet, because they've created their own chain. I'd imagine some kind of integration. Remove the backend swapping and just be able to like swap through a couple of base tokens within the Coinbase app. Yeah, I agree. And check in on your pets too. Exactly. Yeah. Should we look at the FrenPet chart? I haven't looked at.
Sure. Yeah. Just kind of like grinding higher. Yeah, this is kind of just like a DCA bag for me.
Yeah. What's the price? Is it 50 or 40?
Yep, 48.
48, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think this chart looks incredible. You know, last time I think we showed it on stream like here, and then like doubled up. But
yeah, I doubled my position at, I think around 35. I doubled my position size.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually after the stream, I think, at some point.
Yep.
And then
yeah,
and I'll continue to buy because the development for the project, you know, weekly updates, new features in the project, and it's one of the few legit projects, I think, in crypto in general that has a real chance of, you know, making to Coinbase as like a gaming platform.
For sure. Yeah, I mean,
my target is probably like between 50 million would be bear case, and then bull case would be like 300 million.
Yeah, I agree. I think from an RR perspective, it's like the safest project at 3.6 million that you could probably buy, period. Given it's like an official Coinbase project, essentially.
Yeah, and the base CEO plays the game. They got a relationship. Yep. They also got funding recently as well from the base grant.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so they got a grant recently, so that
couple million or something.
Yeah, I don't know how much it is, but you know, that's money for the dev, more incentive to keep building. He was building for free anyway, regardless. So this is more money, makes them hungrier.
Yeah,
maybe you can employ more devs and expand the game further.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Ansem tweeted about this twice already.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah. Easy one. Cool. So, yeah, I mean, I think we covered a lot. BRCs, Solana, memes. That's pretty much it's pretty much where all the money's been flowing recently. So, yeah, AI really has done okay. I did well on Mind MND, but yeah, I mean, I really don't like a lot of these like AI microcaps. They're pretty frustrating just because it's just such a grift, you know?
Yeah.
And the way they trade is like very scammy too, I feel like.
Yeah, I think like AI is just a buzzword, isn't it? And the scammers are latching onto the AI and just creating, probably going to Fiverr and creating a ChatGPT wrapper, creating a token for it, and then slow rugging over a period of a week or two, and then then creating something exactly the same but called something different.
Yep. Like I finally capitulated on this one around, I think it was like around here. Like this is just like, in my opinion, this is just a terrible chart.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just full. There's like no solid uptrend here. You know.
Yeah.
Pretty much full retrace.
The last high, the chart looks fantastic. But
exactly.
Giant W, you know, it looks like it was breaking out, and then the attention disappeared and the liquidity went elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, when whales are like dumping this savagely at only 10 million, when this is supposed to be like a leading Tau project, it doesn't give me much confidence.
Yeah,
it's like just an excuse to
just
or something.
Yeah, just a grift, right? Like I think the Tau narrative has kind of opened up again, you know, to a new entry. That's something that actually is legit. There's still a appetite for Tau-based projects. One launched 4 days ago called TPAD.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's a big one right now. It's like a printer, right?
Yeah, it's like a printer. Yeah,
just Tau printer.
I mentioned it at 2.5, and I just was traumatized from the other Tau projects I never entered.
Yep.
But it seems to be, and it seemed like the worst project ever. Like it was just a printer.
Yeah. The printing meta, man, is so tiring.
Yeah, but I look at it this way: like the money from demined and mined has just rotated to this.
Yeah.
We can look at the market cap of all of them together and say that the Tau ecosystem is worth 30 million. Where's it going next?
Yeah.
But it is like, this is the money that's interested in this kind of product at the minute.
Yeah, but what you were saying is just rotation money, which means that no one really has conviction on any of this, which, you know, again, I only have so many bags. I don't want to be worrying about like a 1 week rotation play, you know?
Exactly, yeah. I think I was down 60% on demined and I ended up selling that the other day.
Yeah. I mean, it's just better to not have to worry about it anymore sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So anything else you really wanted to cover? I feel like we covered a lot.
Yeah, we did. Give me 1 more second to check if there's any.
Cool. I don't think any more questions in the chat or. Let's see how BONK is doing. Oh wow. Wow. Looks like I might make it out alive on this one.
Oh, you still holding?
I am. I never sold.
Oh,
I'm in from like around. I averaged up a little bit, so I originally entered in like 0.06, averaged up to like 0.07 ish. So, with I have spot BONK, but I also have like a 10x levered long from down there.
Jesus Christ.
So I know. Yeah, now you know why I'm like, do I keep this open? But it looks good for now, I think.
Looks good.
Yeah, it looks like it might hold 0.02 support. So.
I'm kind of like, what do you think about this? Like, I'm kind of like in the mindset when things reach all-time high for the second time. I normally get burnt for not selling the second time. What do you think about that?
When things reach all-time high for the second time, so like they come from a prior all-time high. Like I guess is this?
It's normally like when it happens over a short period of time. Like if something hits all-time high one day and then nukes 30% and then goes to all-time high again.
Oh, yep.
The amount of times I've been burnt, like waiting for it to break all-time high again, and next thing I know, it's a double top, right? You know.
Yep. Yeah. So that's a great point. I've noticed the same too. Like the double tops that have been happening, like just across everything. Like it doesn't really matter like what chain, what coin. That type of price action is so common now, and you think it's just going to 2x because historically, if things are going to make new highs, usually they make significant new highs. But like Ordi is a really good example of that. Let's see.
Yeah, I kind of
go back to trading view.
I haven't set this rule for myself yet because you drink the Kool-Aid, you're like, oh, it's not going to happen this time, and then it reaches all-time high, and then next thing you know, it's dead.
Yeah, exactly. Let me see if I can track down Ordi. Yeah, like this was really nasty when when it made this first high, and then that like BRC-20 FUD from that weirdo on Twitter dropped, and then things just like nuked. It's like almost 50% retrace, and then instantly makes a new high.
Yeah,
and then just almost 50% retrace.
Yeah,
so
and that's
funny.
kind of what I was referring really like last week, where it was so over, and then you're back on again, and then it's over again.
Yep. Just totally schizo price action. Still a schizo market, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
It's funny.
Let's
Cool, man.
Should we answer this last question? It says,
"Oh yeah,
RPP chart." What's that mean?
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I'm gonna have to add a little more context. AVAX, okay. Yeah. Not really many things to ape on AVAX right now, which means that I think there's a lot of alpha to be had there. Let's see, RPG. Red Ponzi, good. Wow. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
I mean, it's funny, but in my opinion, like this QOQ already kind of has that liquidity, in my opinion, for something like this. So I'm not really looking. I was in QOQ early enough, like let's see, where did I get in? Like around here. I'm not really personally looking for more ridiculous memes on AVAX, but this, I could see it doing well. And this could easily come back to like new all-time highs, like we said, right?
Yeah.
It's like the rug chart that just comes right back.
Yeah,
definitely possible, but
yeah, just on Coach's comment as well, like things becoming a proxy. I think 90% of times when you're chasing a proxy trade, it's going to lose money, and you're going to get outperformed by the main one. I think maybe 10%, not even that, maybe 5% of the time, your one's going to outperform. But as soon as the top one nukes, your one's going down 70%.
Yep.
So why leverage?
The kind of like the index meme coin trade, or the index like meme idea, hasn't really worked out in crypto. I've never like seen a really successful index trade, I guess.
No.
In terms of shit coins, and so maybe one day it will, but for now that's like typically a pass for me.
Yeah, that's a good rule as well. I remember the MicroStrategy coin on.
Yeah, I don't know where that is. I thought it was MSFT, but
it's MSTR.
MSTR, my bad. Yeah, exactly. Like, look at this thing. Like, I think no one made money on this except for insiders.
I think as well, like, it's a case of being mid-curve, right? Like, there's all the memes here. If I make one that collects all of them, surely that will work. But that's kind of a mid-curve take, right?
Yep.
I think.
Agreed.
Like I say, I haven't seen it ever work out. Ever. Unless you're talking about which is kind of like an index where it held like ETH, it held like Frax, it held DAI. But that was on a different time and that's unique.
But in my opinion, the index that they were holding, like the treasury, no one cared about that. It was just like a fun inflation Ponzi.
Yeah.
And maybe the index went up and that was used for marketing a little bit. Maybe it gave it a tiny boost, but it was more just like a really fun Ponzi.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm probably going to take off here, but I think we like covered a lot of good stuff here. I'm kind of excited to see what happens over the next few weeks because like everything's gone up so crazy. It feels like there's no way it can possibly keep going up. So we'll see where we're at in 2 weeks.
Well, I've got my connect in China, and I'm going to keep up to date with him. See how much money you can print.
Yeah, I know. We really need a couple of like native Chinese interns to keep their ears to the ground. So cool. Well, thanks for tuning in, everyone. TD, Sergeant, I should say. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for hopping on.
No problem. All right, man. Perfect.
All right. Take it easy, guys.
Bye.